My name is Jeff Morgan. I am from Dallas, Texas. In this video, I'm making a direct appeal to the governor of the state of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott. Governor Abbott, I know that you've been a Texas Supreme Court justice. I know that you have been the Attorney General for the state of Texas for 12 years. I know that you are a man of faith. I know that you are a conservative Republican. I too am a Christian conservative Republican. And I'd like you to look into what is happening today to destroy our families. I know you also are a person who cares about our families. I know that you realize the importance of family background in the lives of our children. In the spring of 2014, you were quoted as saying, "Family background has the most decisive effect on student achievement, contributing to a large performance gap between children from economically disadvantaged families and those from middle-class homes." Governor Abbott, I'm sure you are aware that the greatest gift that parents can provide to a child is to bring that child up in an intact home with his or her own natural mother and father. As a Roman Catholic that you are, I'm sure that you know that that is also the teaching of your church. And I know that you've also stood for religious freedoms. For example, on June 11, 2015, you signed the Pastor Protection Act, and it was an act which allowed pastors to refuse to marry couples if they feel doing so violates their religious beliefs. So you've stood up for pastors saying that they do not have to marry two people of the same sex if it violated their religious beliefs. Governor Abbott, the issue of divorce is also a religious issue. It is a religious liberty issue. As a practicing Roman Catholic that you are aware that marriage is a sacrament of the church. Why is the state allowed to interfere with the sacrament of the church? The seven sacraments of the Roman Catholic Church should be practiced freely, and yet for the sacrament of marriage, the state of Texas allows the state to come in and to destroy a marriage, to dissolve a marriage without any defense by a spouse who does not want the marriage dissolved. You've stood for religious freedom. You know the value of families. As a Supreme Court justice, as a former law professor, as the former Attorney General of the state of Texas, you have seen the devastation that has taken place in the lives of children due to divorce. In many instances, as you know, divorce is forced upon an unwilling spouse and forced upon the children. In the Texas Family Code, in section 2.501, it says, under the duty of support, this is page 25 of the Texas Family Code, each spouse has the duty to support the other spouse. Each spouse has the duty to support the other spouse. It also says that a spouse who fails to discharge the duty of support is liable to any person who provides necessaries to the spouse to whom support is owed. Yet in our Texas Family Code, we also have a provision in section 6.001, which says, under Chapter 6, the suit for the dissolution of marriage, page 51 in the Texas Family Code, and supportability, on the petition of either party to a marriage, the court may grant a divorce without regard to fault if the marriage has become insupportable because of discord or conflict of personalities that destroys the legitimate ends of the marital relationship and prevents any reasonable expectation of reconciliation. Nowhere in the Texas Family Code is insupportability defined. There is absolutely no objective standard by which we can look at a charge of insupportability and say, yes, this is insupportable. The vagueness of this statute is complicated yet further, because if the marriage has become insupportable because of discord or conflict of personalities that destroys the legitimate ends of the marital relationship and prevents any reasonable expectation of reconciliation, that too is nowhere defined. The person who is at the receiving end of a lawsuit for the dissolution of the marriage in the state of Texas loses 100% of the time, without exception, and this is very easily proven. If in the last 10 years you can find 5 cases in which a case for the dissolution of marriage based on insupportability was denied by a judge, I would love to know them. In fact, every time I've talked with the judge, they say they have no option but to grant a divorce. Even though the Texas Family Code says the court may grant a divorce, the court always, without exception, 100% of the time, grants a divorce. This is a violation of due process protections to the respondent, and it also deprives him of equal access under law. Moreover, the state is impairing the obligation of contracts. Marriage is a contract. It may be more than a contract, but it has all the elements of the contract. There is the offer and the acceptance, and there is a consideration. The people who desire to get married must apply for a marital license in the state of Texas. That license will be granted, and there is usually a waiting period of 72 hours, except under some very specific circumstances, and that must wait for the couple to be married. The couple also must get married before the license expires. The couple must be married by somebody who is actually recognized as an official who can marry people in the state of Texas. Right now in the state of Texas, there is absolutely no protection to the sacrament of marriage. And once again, as a practicing Roman Catholic, you should realize this is a sacrament of the church. In no other instance is the state allowed to intrude itself into the affairs of the church and destroy the sacrament of the church. As you did back in June of 2015 when you signed the Pastor Protection Act, which allows pastors to refuse to marry couples if they feel doing so violates their religious beliefs. You should also encourage an act that you could sign into law that would allow a person who got married in the church, a sacramental marriage, to defend that marriage because divorce would be violating their religious belief. At the very least, something needs to be done to protect the reluctantly divorced or the forcefully divorced spouse in the state of Texas. Governor Abbott, as you also know, unilateral no-fault divorce was first introduced in the 20th century in Russia by Vladimir Lenin. He designed unilateral no-fault divorce so that he could abolish the family and help communism flourish in Bolshevik Russia. He caused social chaos and disorder by this decree. Governor Abbott, this exact same law is what we have in the state of Texas right now. When one person petitions for unilateral no-fault divorce and the other person has no defense and can never win the lawsuit, something is wrong. We have taken this communist doctrine, this Leninistic practice, and we have now made this the official divorce practice of the state of Texas. Governor Abbott, this is a matter of serious consideration. As you said, family background has the most decisive effect on student achievement, contributing to a large performance gap between children from economically disadvantaged families and those from middle-class homes. Children need more than a paycheck. Children need more than child support. As a Texas Attorney General, you are very familiar with the child support system. You enforced child support. You threw people into jail for contempt of court for not paying child support. Yet on the other hand, some of these people that you threw into jail were people that were divorced against their will. It was a lawless family court judge who made a lawless decision in violation of the Texas Family Code, Section 2.501, which talks about the duty of spouses to support each other. It was a decision based on Section 6.001, insupportability, whereby in the state of Texas, in actual practice, the petitioner gains what he or she wants 100% of the time, and there is no defense and no way that this lawsuit can be brought against a defendant. Governor Abbott, this is a matter of utmost importance because of the ramifications of society, not just in the family structure, but even from a financial basis. This needs to be considered an emergency item that needs to be addressed. I'm asking you, Governor Abbott, to take the leadership in this and to start talking about the issue of forced divorce, unilateral divorce, divorce on demand, the injustice of divorce, the complete violation of constitutional protections when unilateral divorce is granted, and then the plundering of the innocent spouse who does not want the divorce, how he or she can lose 50% or more of his or her assets, can have professional licenses revoked if for some reason they cannot make child support payments, are effectively barred from the lives of their children in many instances. This is a catastrophe. And as governor of the state of Texas, as a practicing Roman Catholic, as a person who knows the law much better than I do, this is a matter of utmost importance, and I'm asking you, Governor Abbott, to investigate it and to get our family courts back in law, back in order, and to erase the criminality that is taking place on a daily basis in our state, in our Texas family courts. Thank you.